Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is Twist Gaming, where you get to play board games with us. And we have two special guests with us today. We have Chris from Brotherwise Game and Stephanie from the. I've got to screw it up now.
Geeky Girl
The
Gamers.
Geeky Girl Gamers, yeah.
Geeky
Chris
Girl
is gonna.
Games.
I'm in
Geeky
it.
Girl Games, yeah. We both
Geeky
screwed
Girl
it up.
Games. We both screwed it up. I sounded so confident.
You did sound confident, Chris.
I thought the three G's would help. You know?
It
is.
It's a lot of G's in gaming. And
It
just-
is, yeah.
It's a lot.
Minda.
But no, Chris, what do we have from Brotherwise? I see we have a couple things on the table.
I brought more than I should have. We have mini toys, many fun things. I'm going to talk about them in terms of just what we've got available here at Gen Con.
Okay.
So at Gen Con, we've got a limited number of Unearth, the Lost Tribe. This is an expansion to Unearth, which I think you have played.
Yes.
You've gotten to that. And you need to play.
Yeah, I need to play.
You need to play. So Unearth was our second game that came out. It is a dice placement game where you're essentially trying to claim runes. So you're these little Delver cuties. I don't know if you have your little camera over there. You want to show them?
Oh, camera here.
You are trying to reclaim the glory of your long-lost civilization. So in the original game, the base game, there's sort of this glorious civilization, and then something happens. And we don't really know what it is that happens.
Okay.
But the Lost Tribe helps tell us a bit about what happens.
Okay.
So as you know, in Unearth, you've got these little Delver guys. They're rolling dice to claim these runes. High dice help you claim the runes. Low dice help you claim these stones. So there's stones that are on each of the runes. And both of those are paths to victory. In the
Okay.
game. Both of those are ways to get points. So what the Lost Tribe introduces is it's actually a 3-in-1 expansion. So it's got a solitaire version. The solitaire version is called Against the Darkness. So you find out what that thing that happened was, where all was lost.
Okay.
And that's this oncoming darkness. And it's sort of, we've got a card-based AI that sort of plays the darkness, and you play against it.
Okay.
It's a terrific solo mode. I love it. So if you're a solo player, solitaire player, you're going to love it. But that's not all it does. We've also got a 5th player expansion for the game. So we've got a new set of dice, these lovely purple dice, which I like.
I mean, purple's our favorite color.
Purple
So.
is the. It's like it was. I probably doesn't even show up here, does it? I'll put them right there. So we've got the. That'll get in a 5th player into the game. There's a whole new set of runes. So there's the Ravines, which is a new rune type, which gives you more cards so that you can do the 5th player. But it also makes your 4-player games a little bit longer. So if you're looking for a little bit broader, longer experience in terms of that lets you do more of the stuff in the game, in the 4-player game, that does that now.
Okay.
In the original, I know those cards were color coded that
They
you were
are.
collecting. Is that its own
This is
color
its
now?
own color, and one of the things that we found in this was that the colors are great and beautiful and terrific, but for color-blind players, they struggled with some of the colors in the game. So
Right.
we've now added in icons in the upper right-hand corner there. So this game comes with those icons, and then future printings of Unearth will also have the colorblind-friendly icons in
That's
there.
awesome.
Very cool.
But yeah, and all this art is done by Jesse Riggle. He's a big name in the vector art community, which is sort of this style that Unearth
Yeah,
does.
I really like the style.
It's
this
just
has.
so pretty. He's so good at it. So the third thing in the 3-in-1 expansion is basically just enhancements to the base game. So we've got all new wonders. These wonders are these. Basically, you build these with stones that you gather stones from the runes. Once you meet a formula for a wonder, you can claim it. It gives you powers and it gives you points. It's another path to victory for points. So all new wonders. We've got all new end of age cards. So the end of age cards there are they're sort of the last card that comes out in the game, and they sort of change the end game for each of those. And then all new Delver cards. We don't necessarily need to look at those, but the Delver cards now have what's called a response card. So previously, you can only play Delver cards on your turn. With the response cards, you can play them whenever anyone rolls a certain result.
Okay.
So that just gives you a little bit more player
Player
interaction
interaction.
there. And then lastly, we've got all new stones. So as I said, the stones are these things that you claim from the various runes that you use to build wonders. These are called the colorless stones. So they just do some unique and interesting powers that let you sort of change up how the game is played in the moment. So it's a lot of fun. It's a terrific expansion. We have a limited number of these. Today we sold out by about 11:30. We're
Okay.
rationing them out each day. So if your viewers are interested and they're here, they can get it early in the morning. If they're not here, they'll be able to get them in game stores very soon. I think early September is the street date.
Okay. And I know you said solo campaign in this. So is this
Yeah.
kind of standalone? If you just get this, can you do the solo, or you need the
Nope.
base game?
You
still?
need the good
Okay.
question. You need the base
All right.
game. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So the solo campaign plays similarly to the base game, except the player you're playing against is
controlled by the
AI.
expansion.
It's a little
Okay.
different there.
I'm so excited for this.
It's super fun.
It was my second stop. Had to get it. I'm so glad I got it.
awesome.
It's beautiful.
It is. It's so, and just I mean, look at the pretty tokens and stuff there. It's really gorgeous art. And so, a lot of people get our games for the art, but then come back for the gameplay. They're light. They're accessible. We call our target audience is sort of what we call the gamer girlfriends, gamer boyfriends, sort of the the folks who wouldn't necessarily play, but they look over.
Okay,
and they
honey,
go,
I'll play a game with
"Hey,
you."
What is that?
That one looks pretty.
That looks interesting. Let me see that. So worth checking out. Oh, also comes with that little Delver Mini as well, packed in there. So the other thing is we're selling, I think for the first time at a con, we've got Call to Adventure, and I'm going to move that between us.
Okay.
And Call to Adventure is a hero crafting game. We talked about this last year.
Yeah, we did a spotlight
We
of
did a
it.
spotlight on it.
It was a lot
man.
of fun.
It was huge.
Yeah.
This is, as those of you who remember from that spotlight, you sort of start with an origin, motivation, and destiny, and you're building your hero over the course of the game. This went really well. We sold out of our initial print run in about 3 weeks, and it's actually been sold out for about 2 months now,
Wow.
which stinks. But it's back in stock, and we have it here at Gen Con. We're selling it at booth 237, and it should be back in stores momentarily, if not already. We are demoing, but not ready to sell the first expansion to Call to Adventure, and that's the Name of the Wind expansion. So this is based on Patrick Rothfuss's best-selling King Killer Chronicles.
King Killer Chronicles,
That's
yeah.
always a mouthful. But we were huge fans of his books. In fact, Call to Adventure, the sort of origin of it came out of falling in love with his books and wanting to sort of gamify them. It's got a whole new set of cards, over 80 all new cards. It's a shuffle-in expansion. This one shuffles into the base game.
Okay.
We can show off some of the card art here, and if you are a Name of the Wind fan, you will probably recognize some of these images
I'm trying to.
immediately. So just throw one of those up there.
Yeah, so we got-
So you've got the Trooper, you've got the new Origins. So Trooper is an origin that you
Okay.
can have. Origins give you a starting ability, and they give you sort of your special power that you
Yeah.
start the game with. What else do we have there?
Trooper,
We've
we
got
have,
some all new destinies. So there's the Prodigy Destiny. So those of you who know the books will know that that is representing Dinah,
Yeah.
who turns out to be a musical prodigy, sort of a counterpoint to the main
that
character Kvothe.
main character was in a
He
troop.
Was a trooper.
He is.
The
Or is it-
artwork is beautiful.
It's
Yeah, it is.
Again,
beautiful. Our
I
artists
love it.
are amazing. So, Namer. So there's Master Eladin escaping from his prison at the university.
Okay. This is all come back. It's been a while since I've read the book, so I'm just like,
it's but we really wanted to sort of do the definitive version of art for this game, and we actually sat down with Patrick Rothfuss. We ran all the art past him.
okay.
We,
So this is a little bit kind of what his vision for these characters kind of look like, his approval of them. Not
he
necessarily
was he's a remarkably easy guy to work with.
Yeah.
And he definitely had opinions, and he definitely wants things to look good. But he also more or less said different people are going to have different views of these characters,
Yeah.
and we want to make that okay.
Yeah.
And so the most important thing was that we weren't putting something on the cards which was really counter to to what he wanted to be. So case in point, not surprisingly, lutes show up a lot in this game. The stringed instrument, the lute,
Yeah.
because that's Kvothe's favorite instrument. And we kept putting a Baroque lute in there, and actually Kvothe plays a different sort of high-necked lute and
Okay.
has a certain number of pins. And so that level of detail, we actually fixed the number of pins on the neck of the lute to get it to
Wow.
what
Okay.
Patrick wrote. So that's how we really tried hard on this.
So as long as the details that matched the book were right, he was pretty
That's
easy.
right. But
like-
other than that, he's such a sweet guy and really easy to work with. But we played the game with him a few times. He actually had some input on the base game in terms of playtesting that in some rules. So just a really wonderful experience to work with him, and I think everybody involved is really happy with this.
the art
game out.
is absolutely like, look at this. This
Yeah.
is
Zealous Amir. So, those of you who know the game, there's a little bit of interesting read off the green screen there.
Yeah.
So the Zealous Amir, for example, gives you the story story icons. Up top there is the Justice icon if you join the Amir.
Okay.
And then down below, we've actually got this this new icon. These are the naming icons. So we introduced naming into this game, which is sort of the most esoteric and most powerful magic in Patrick's world.
Yeah.
And here, whenever you fail a challenge, you get to attempt to learn a name.
Okay.
And once you learn that name, then you automatically pass those paths. It's very hard to do. Learning a
Wow.
name is very challenging,
Okay.
but it's a neat little mechanic, and it means it's that this isn't just a rebranding of the base game. It introduces some new
It has
mechanics.
a new mechanic, and it's just not some new cards. With
That's
some.
exactly right.
That's very cool.
I'm gonna have to go for the hard path.
I
Those
know,
are my
right?
favorite in the
Right,
cards.
right? They're all, it's so much fun. So if you're one of those folks like me who, when you're a kid, you were constantly making D&D characters, but never actually got around to playing D&D, this is the game for you.
Yeah, no, I had a lot of fun playing this, and I can't remember the character I built though, but it was a lot of fun doing it.
I
and having the
remember
story with
watching it. I can't remember what you did, but it was something like
We
that.
did something. It was fun. We all had fun playing with it. I
It's
remember that
cool.
much.
It's a fun, simple game. And again, at the end of it, even if you don't win, you've got a story to tell. Your hero's story has come
Yeah.
together in a way that's really cool.
Oh, awesome. Anything else happening at the booth, or is it,
We're doing demos of all these games. This one is not for sale right now. We have to ship it out to the Kickstarter backers
Yeah.
first, but we're demoing it. We've also got playmats and card sleeves for Call to Adventure. We've got big 4 and 6 player mats for Boss Monster and for Unearth.
Okay.
So lots of neat accessories that are hard to find elsewhere that we generally only had at cons. However, if you're not here, we can just look on our web store. You'll find some of the stuff there, and some of the mats are made by some other guys.
I got the mat at Origins, and it's awesome.
Awesome.
I definitely
Which one?
recommend
Call
it.
to
The
Adventure?
Call to
Yeah,
Adventure
it's
one.
a sweet mat.
Great.
Matt Paquette, who is our graphic designer on this game, he did that mat, and he's a very accomplished artist as well. So did neat stuff.
So anything else coming from Brotherwise Games down the pipeline that you can maybe give us a hint of?
So next year, the currently planned games are. We're hoping to do a Boss Monster Junior, so we're getting very
Okay.
close on that. That would be a kid's version of Boss Monster.
Well, what age range are you looking at? for
I
that?
think we're looking at sort of 8 to 11 on
Okay.
that one. Be the
Okay.
sort of general target
Alright,
there.
so not the like 4 to
No,
8 range
not
kind of
not
thing.
like my first boss. My
Yeah.
first dungeon.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be that. It's a little bit more than that. We want something that parents can play with their kids.
Okay.
And have and find that
Right.
enjoyable as well. We've got the Brandon Sanderson Stormlight Archives expansion for Call to
I'm
Adventure.
super excited for.
A lot of people are super excited for
So
that.
does that have a new mechanism to it as well?
It will. So the Knights Radiant are going to be represented in all the I'm blanking all of a sudden Origins,
Okay.
things like that, and we're in art solicitation for that. And let me tell you, doing art for this book is so much fun. I mean, there's
I've
just
seen
so
the
many
fan art for it,
big
and it's
moments.
always and
there's-
it's always awesome to see. Just kind of, it's going to be really cool to see some more little official.
It's going to be great.
Kinda
Well, and it's a good example. So we're working with Brandon and his
Yeah.
folks, trying to get the the right version of this. We want
Yeah.
to make sure we're portraying what his vision of it was. So it takes us a long time to do these, but it's because we're spending a lot of time going back and forth with the authors, trying to get it just right.
Yeah.
And so then we've got a couple other new titles, which we're not quite ready to announce yet.
Okay.
But it should be soon. We should be able to announce one of those soon.
Awesome. So thanks so much. So Chris, if people want to see more about Brotherwise Games, where should they go look?
If they're at Gen Con, they should come to booth 237. If you're not here, go to www.brotherwisegames.com. All one word, that big mouthful. However, we always encourage you to go to your friendly local game store. We love to support all the game stores who've supported us over the years. So best place to buy our stuff is your local game store.
Awesome. And Stephanie, where can our viewers find you and all the content you create?
You can find me on Instagram at Geeky Girl Games and also website geekygirlgames.com.
All right, awesome. So thanks everyone for watching. We'll be back soon with more coverage. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.